welcome to It's A. I'm your host, Katejo Mashego, but you can call me Mama K. So this evening we're going to talk about a little bit of a controversial subject, religion versus spirituality. I've got three amazing guests here with me and we're going to unpack the topic. We've got different views, we're going to respect each other, but we're really going to dig deep. Next to me here is Terrence, also known as Tiance. Terry. We've got not Tiance anymore.
Well, moniker. Got a lot of monikers.
Okay,
yeah.
Terry. Today it's Terry. And then we've got Sislevo and Mutlatsi. Ladies, I know we all have different religions, different backgrounds, but for me, I think being an African person, and I want to go to you first. Being an African person, how do you merge being African and being religious, as well as other things that may impact your way that you view the world?
It's so interesting that you started out to say we're going to do a religion versus spirituality.
Yeah.
And I believe those two things are separate value. There's religion and then there's spirituality.
Yeah.
And spirituality is a personal journey for every single living human being, right? You go on a personal spiritual journey, and somewhere in there it may include religion, and may include a religious belief that you may or may not follow, or you may or may not subscribe to, or used to subscribe to, because there are so many various different religious beliefs out there that we follow, that we are a part of, So, and the question is so interesting.
Yeah.
Being an African.
Yeah.
How do you navigate? How do you negotiate your space? I am an African, and then if we're gonna go back to we were colonized and they brought religion and they brought this and they brought that and this happened, and you're like trying to sit there and say, how do I make it personal?
Yeah.
What and I'm at a point where I first was like, I don't believe in religion. But now I'm like, what are the lessons that religion can teach me? What can I take? Why don't I believe in it? Who tainted it for me?
Yeah.
Why did they taint it for me? What bad did they put in it? And there was a friend of mine that said, you go watwasa wabali badimu wa itsantosa badimu, and then ufitlhelele ke moya wa kereke.
Yeah.
And my friend was like, badimu ne le batho. And ne le batho who had beliefs, who did things, and because badimu are so smart, a lot of people now believe different things, and they will come to you in a thing that you believe. Hanka Toma, Kiwale Moto also believing mo badimung, Ratomu Baka Karek, they're gonna have an understanding Yakuri. Kibuaka, Wawanaka Toma Moya, but yeah, now you're talking. Now I can jump in because Teletabudimi is a bit touchy for me. Hey, I don't wanna say any, but and I moto utolorlie and halora olora in a church kind of way. That's how Badim Batlang Moyana, because that's how smart they are. They know yes.
These are the ancestors.
The ancestors. Okay. That's how smart they are. They come to you in a way that you will understand.
Okay, I want to pause you there because I know there have been instances where people are saying no, but imbaka bang punish because aki tsile banyakeng kayon, right? So if for example Kukwak, my late dad's mom, if she had come to me and there's no way or kitlo no mutho kitlo mtheleja eriki ki change ki re ka mkhwanya kang or nya ki twase or ki change tsela tsaka or ki be mo apostol, because some people get told no tshwantse kreke, this is where calling ya how is, right?
Yes.
So for me, I feel like if the ancestors have come to you and you're saying they come to you in a thing you can appreciate and you will understand, why then are some people being told by certain traditional healers or no, it's your ancestors punishing you, therefore if you do this, that will happen?
Language is very critical, and we need to be very aware of how we use language. They need to give you context. Actually, what do they mean by that? And more than it being badimu, it's you not listening. It's you're not listening, so they're trying to get your attention.
By making me sick.
By making you sick so that you can get attention. And it's not just by making you sick, it's you being in tune. It's only kereke where we're saying the relationship is with you and God and you must fix yourself with God. Libadimu, it's a thing of understanding badimu. understanding how they're going to come to you and request whatever they request, and you need to fulfill that in whatever way, and you need to reconcile yourself with whatever beliefs you held in the past to this new thing that they're asking you to do, and saying and trusting that they are taking you on the right path, trusting that they want you to do the right thing, and all of this is in your own good. And we had conversations earlier before recording, right? And we were like, there was a lady who was like, Badimu, they are guides, right? They are like angels, and now I'm not gonna say Kirapela Badimu or whatever, but I'm saying thank you for being those angels for me. So in that sense, when it's like that, then I don't think you should see it as it being bad. It's the same thing as moto onang le kholo ya modimo, strictly for God. Until I took the calling to be a pastor, until I took the calling to minister the word, bad things were happening to me. It's the same thing. Why aren't we looking at that in the same light? To say, because this person, it's what the thing is to listening to his voice that is talking to you. Be it like a badimu, be it like a kereke, be it like a rube pastor, be it like a rube muruti in whatever church. Whatever, because Badim understand because there are different religions, there are different practices, and
so why can't my ancestors respect that? For example, I'm going to put Christian in quotes because I don't read my Bible every day or whatever, but I believe in God. Yes. I believe in Christian values. Well, most of them anyways, right? And I just feel like if I'm a Christian and I've been raised a Christian, because I'm assuming my grandmother was a Christian, right? Both of them. And my father was a Christian. So all of them are Christian. Now all of a sudden, Pazi, this Christianness that you raised me in, you're calling me to do. Do you guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
I just feel like it's quite contradictory that Badimu Baka, the ones that were there for me, that understand how they raised me, would be the same people that come and say, oh, but listen, we have a new way of doing things now. Come to this side.
Change.
Yeah. And I want to pause you a little bit because I want to hear from Sisile,
please.
especially because you wrote your amazing devotional book, and I hope to read it very soon. But you obviously on a different journey. You are fully Christian, right? Or do you also like slaughter, and do you believe in those things?
I am what has been tainted in a bad light called born again Christian.
Okay.
And Mzalwan.
AKA, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not in Guni, so I don't know where the Mzalwan comes from. I can't explain that. But the context of born again Christian comes from the book of John, where he says, where they say, when you believe in Jesus, you are born with him again. So you die to your old self, and you're born with him again. So that in a way that means everything else that I used to rely on before, that I did in my own strength, is null and void now.
Okay.
So my first go-to would be my relationship with Jesus. So for born again Christians, a personal relationship with Jesus is their religion. But I also want to explain, because I know we were talking earlier on, as like you said, Terry, that we like throwing around a lot of words. I specifically like checking out where words come from, because I want to understand what I'm saying when I say something is a certain way. So to me, from checking out the word spirit, the word spirit in Greek is breath, it's ruach.
Okay.
And in the Bible, in Genesis was written in Hebrew, and in the Hebrew it specifically means the breath of God. So it says that God made us in his breath. In his identity he made us.
Okay.
So a human being is, in essence, if a human being is made in the identity of God, he's in the essence first and foremost a spirit.
Yes.
So when you say you're practicing spirituality, it's a little redundant, because you're a spirit.
Already.
How can you practice being yourself?
Yeah.
You're already spirit. So we are all already spiritual. We're emotive, we are intellectual, we also feel and touch things. So we're also practical people.
For me.
Okay, so if you're a spirit already, so you should be. There's no reason for you to practice yourself. That's who you are.
Okay.
So all you need to do is step into that identity. But it's really hard because yeah, because there are many things. There are many things that are easier to get than to be spiritual or to be yourself. So what that takes for me, what that has taken is a personal relationship with the person of God. And people find it people
Sounds
find
like
it
French.
so strange to hear someone say the person of God. But if God made you a person, my darling, and your spirit, what is God? Isn't he also a person? He made you in his image. That makes him a person.
You know, when you say that, you're making me think. My daughter the other day asked me, mommy, God is everywhere. He's in Dorampur, but he's also in this house. And when we go to the car, he's also there. And I get the concept that he's omnipresent, right? But she's a kid. So the fact that she was able to tell me that God is everywhere. And she's like, he's even inside, which means maybe I'm also a God. And I'm like,
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
at 6, and I was like, I never had this realization, and I'm 30 something,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get what you're saying, but it's not an easy place to be at, especially because we know God loves us, right? Or Badim loves us, or Allah, who, whatever you believe in. We know that person loves us and wants the best, the best for us.
Wow.
You weren't supposed to drink.
Yeah.
It's a sign. And I feel like, although we know this person loves us and he's for us, we still go through hard times, guys.
We go through.
Like our hearts get
All the
broken. Yes,
Yo.
our hearts get broken.
Yeah.
Our cars get hijacked. People get molested, whatever. So you have to really be strong in your faith with the person that created you to overcome a lot of things. Like, when Papa died, Mama Kanya was saying, hey, and I actually said to her, Mudimo Mufing, I was so mad. Mudimo Mufing, what Mudimo is this that you're referring to, that we just take him like that? And then a few days later, I was like, okay, Kat, but you were angry. Talk to God. What's happening? Where? Because I believe it was the evil side. You've got an angel
your dark
here,
side,
evil
and you
side.
must embrace that side.
I don't know about embracing it.
Well-
Acknowledging, yes, but embracing. Because I'll end up doing weird things.
No. When I say embrace it, is knowing that you have that side.
Yeah.
You have that
And not
side that can
pretend like it
get
doesn't
angry.
exist.
You have that side that can question and say, what God?
Yeah,
Where's God? You
yeah.
have that side, and you have to sit with it. And you have to sit with it and know that there is a God that can take your father away.
Yeah.
And there's no reason, there's no explanation,
Yeah,
but
he's
he's gone.
just gone.
And he's gone, and you must accept that those things happen.
Yeah.
And it's embracing the darkness, embracing that the bad will happen, that the bad is there, and through the bad we still believe.
Yeah.
Through the bad, badim bateng. Through the bad, mudimu uteng. Wa tlhaloganya? So it's knowing that there's a verse, Genesis 1, it was dark.
Genesis, yes.
Correcting.
In the beginning.
Cracker for you, my dad. In the beginning there was darkness.
Yeah.
And then
The Lord
God
said, let there be light.
light
Yes.
and separated night and day and
Yes.
called it day and
And
night.
yeah.
Light and dark,
Okay.
my darling.
That's an
Light
interesting way of looking
and
at
dark.
it.
He said, let there be those things. So if you're going to ignore the dark and pretend like it's not there and not want to sit through, and this is what happens, right, in our personal lives about the darkness, is that you must sit alone with all of the crap. Can I swear on this channel?
Not strong words, but yes.
I want to say bull ace,
Yes.
right?
Bull dust. Yeah.
Bull dust.
Yeah.
You must sit in the dark with your bull dust at night, uliwani, with the lights off and outside boroko, and sit with yourself and all of the things that have happened to you and all of the things that you've done in the dark, so that when the day comes you can be lighter, so that when the day comes you can move better. And you know about babanwang biala ne ababinweli kutagwa
No.
banwela boroko.
Eh,
They want to sleep.
Eh.
I was telling the people from church, because I got a little bit, drunk, and I came back home and I slept so well because I wasn't 100% present. I wasn't 100% there. And now I understand why people drink. It's because they want to escape that. They want to escape that darkness that they should sit with.
And you're saying they should sit with it.
You should sit with your darkness so you can appreciate your light. How will you appreciate your light if you don't sit with your darkness and ignore it?
It's painful. Why are we saying it's okay for you to be in so much pain?
It's not okay for you to be in so much pain, but it's for you to understand that the pain is there.
Yeah. I think coming to what Kat says here, like you were angry, and stuff like that. I remember years back, like I used to struggle. I mean, my peers, back then, years back. Like, if it's a scholar, my peers are working, but relationships are successful, they driving cars,
Bali too much.
they lead, they slaying, understand, and then I'm here, and then Kimo to fair. And then my mom said one day, you know what, my mom is a very, I don't know, it's
Religious, spiritual,
and religion, it's two in one. So we said, like, you know what, one day, you know, like, I hear you, I feel you, and then you feel like, when I started telling you, like, a testimonial to other people. And I've never believed it.
Do you believe it now?
Now I believe, because I can tell the person the journey that I come from. I can tell the person where I come from. Where I am, was not even easy. It was not okay. And I was isolating myself. I said, like, you know what, whatever that you're going through, one day you'll find someone. Like, you know what? I've been through. You'll be a testimonial. You yourself, because of what you went through.
Sure. Cheers to my mama.
But I like that you said it was a journey. Because Reduji thinking something must work out instantly because of the life we're used to.
Noodles.
Movie 1 hour, 30 minutes, I'm at home, there's a struggle. The rest of the other 30 minutes, it's the solution to the struggle. So you sit there thinking, this is how my life is supposed to be. But if you read every psalm, without exception, just about every psalm starts off with a grief
of sorts,
a grievance to God, right?
Yeah.
It's called a lament, a grievance to God. David wrote most of the psalms, and the rest were written by other prophets of his time. And he complains. He's not afraid to say, but you let me go, God. What are you doing? I mean, like, don't you love me anymore?
What did
And
I do?
Exactly. But towards the end of the psalm, you see his tune changing and say, but even though you're doing this to me, I know you're there. I know you're there. So I think the key for me is, and religion is a set of rules. And there's nothing wrong with a set of rules. I think your religion has a set of rules. My religion has a set of rules. It's when the rules overtake the relationship
with God or
So I think the key thing is to one, understand how when you leave this world, your breath goes, your ruach goes, moya watamai. So that moya, or that's your true identity. You need to find a way to see Mudimu ki motho ka moya wa hae, and have that relationship with that moya ki motho that you're supposed to, that he's calling you into relationship with. Because when your breath leaves, your breath goes back to him. And no fita, aunama, he doesn't see you as this. He sees you as you really were. So all that stuff, my daughter died, all these things, they really are painful, but they're not the end of you, because we're not umoya. That's why the God who is moya wants you to come to him as utle and break down in. Don't run away from. Run to him and shoutele hey. Run to him and bring your grievance to him, because he understands your spirit and he knows how to get your spirit to a place where, like, where you are a testimony, because utamele that journey there. So that for me, that's the difference between I can't be spiritual in Christian. Over spiritual, over spiritual Christian. But that's redundant to me, because it's who I know I'm spirit. It's who I know I'm going to be when I die. The body will rot, but my spirit will not.
Isn't that where Badumu comes in? Because your spirit, although the ultimate goal obviously is to go somewhere, but I mean, I think there's a point where we are kind of all somber until resurrection date, right? So in between there, I think we are somewhere floating, and I could be wrong. I have no science behind this. Don't get me wrong. Our Scientologist guests couldn't make it, but we are all kind of floating around. And then for me, that's where Badimu comes in. I don't think Badimu wants us to praise them, you know, because God is a jealous God. And I get I've seen a lot of Bato that believe in Badimu also believe in Mudimu. It's not like they're thinking, except if they're on the dark side.
Yeah,
you know, that's also possible. But the same thing with Christianity. There's people that do devil stuff, and they've got the Satanism or whatever. They still believe that he exists, but they just choose to go the other end.
Yeah.
And I feel like what you just said captures the essence of, and I loved how you opened it and you said the spirit is already there. It's
How do
you can't practice what's already there. Yeah,
Yeah.
practice being yourself.
Yeah, that is
But
great.
one of the reasons why I wanted us to talk about this is, for me, I think I have a relationship with God to some extent, but I just feel it's not at the right level. Like if I look at you, I feel like if we're to run a race, I feel like you are 10 laps ahead of me, and all I'm doing is trying to catch up. Same with you. The way you are in tune, yes, you're also in tune.
I am
with your, yes.
so struggling. Well, I'm not struggling, but I am doing this thing. You know,
You just every day.
You
waking up.
it's an everyday thing, and you know, like when you were speaking about religion, one thing that came to my mind, and we've had this conversation. You were like, I went through different religious beliefs and structures, and religion. To say religion versus spirituality, religion is a way. Like you're saying, a set of rules. And all different religions have different sets of rules. And which ones do you want to go? Either to ZCC, to Roma, to Apostol, to Zion, or to be a Buddhist, a Muslim. New Age.
So many.
100,000 ways of doing this thing. And it's just, what set of rules are you willing to take on for your life, right?
Yeah.
That's what religion is. And then the spirituality aspect of it is, like you're saying, you are the spirit. And it's this personal relationship between you and the spirit. And the Badimu, here's the thing I need to say about Badimu that I want people to understand. Like, the point you were going to go to.
Yeah.
Oh, I think, and I hope I'm right.
Yeah.
It's Hore. Badimu, ne? African people.
Yes.
And Badimu. As African people, the purpose of Badimu is we belong.
Yes.
You're never alone.
Okay.
You belong to, like you're saying, a spirit world. You belong to a clan that has identified you and said,
As
you
their
are one
own.
of us.
Yeah.
You belong to those people. Right? So we belong. So we come from, we go back to, and we are of.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You come from a clan, you go back to the clan, and you are of this clan. That is, and how I see it, I feel like the spirit world has kraals, right? Kraals le kana king kaspedi.
Rondava?
Leshaka.
Okay.
Leshaka is a very sacred space because we don't worship the cow, but we believe gore di kgomo ke leruo, and we respect leruo la rona ra le tlhokomela, and ka setso go dintho tse dingata di etsetswa go leshakeng go phatlhelwa ko teng le di umbilical cords tsa bana di epelwa ko teng ka seZulu, and many other different beliefs. I believe, for me, how I see it is that the other side has kraals where we belong to, and these are your people that wena waruna, we have claimed you, even though there's a bigger kraal, right? There's a bigger kraal, which is God, and they know it's God. And if we're gonna go back in history, right, and say, okay, religion was missionaries came to Africa, brought Bibles, and we can even dispute about where the Bible was written because Egypt is in Africa. You know, we can get political about it and go whatever. But the one thing that I always want to bring the conversation to is that our people believed before any other thing happened, and somebody just brought another avenue of belief.
believing.
The problem is that they took that avenue and made it greater and bigger than all others. Instead of saying, this is one you can go into if you want to, or stay on your other ones, and we'll all meet there. You know? Because right now, is anybody doing a right thing to start with?
You know when you get to the other side.
You only know when you get to the other side. Even Lynn Nakinale connection to Badimu, they cannot tell me, are we doing the right thing here? I will never get an answer. Because that's not how things work. And that's not how they wanted to. Oh, that's not how God wants it to work.
Yeah.
We must discover things for ourselves and subscribe to whatever we want to believe in. You know, so it's vast. It's vast, guys. And yeah, as I said, our people believed. Our people did things. Were they wrong? No.
We don't know until we go to the other side.
We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
But they believed and they practiced and they did things. And missionaries bringing, especially the Bible aspect of it, was another way of doing things. A universal way. More commonly known that everybody can, sort of subscribe. Because even Bible, how we translate it, like go cracking a believelang montong tsa badimo, for instance, ha ba re retsa secheso, right? And it's teng lengwalo la secheso gore go etsiwa secheso ka nonyane ka or and then linka go letse secheso le kope the blessings and whatever through ke mo bibleng a kere go etsiwa secheso. Rona ka setho re tlhaba pudi re nya go bolela le badimo gore a re a leboga, continue linking the prayers tsa rona le ditseng go modimo ka mo go letlolang le etsa.
Same WhatsApp group.
Same WhatsApp group. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, that's it for me.
Alright, so we're gonna take a short break and come back. We'll talk a little bit on this controversial scene.
Hi everybody and welcome back to It's A. So before the break we were talking a little bit about religion versus spirituality, and I love how you ladies have unpacked it. I feel a little bit more, enlightened. And I want to bring another layer to this topic. We all know that Prophet Shepherd Bushiri has just recently escaped our country's laws and whatever and borders. And for me, I don't want to talk too much about it because I have a lot of opinions on it. I want to hear your ladies' opinions. And that is, since you've been so quiet, you haven't spoken that much. I want to hear from you what is your understanding of what's happening in the church. Are you a believer of the Bushiri church? I don't know, maybe. And talk to me a little bit about your experience with it, if you have any. If you've been to the church, if you know someone that's been to the church.
I firstly, I'm not that church goer. I don't go to church.
Why is that? You don't go to church as a general.
In a general, not meaning that like I don't. It's a and not that I don't believe Mumudimu. I believe Mumudimu can have Bible ke
Alright.
And like Matse Maraka, Sabora like it's video halang it's an
I don't say that.
It's I cannot say. But like coming to Bushiri one, I'm not a fan.
Why?
And I don't believe, and I've never been to his church. I've never going to be his church because I feel like he's failing us. How? Because I think like he target the weakest. Like he target the people who are vulnerable in terms of miracles. Because as people, like, we go in so many struggles, and when the person when I then like you feel like what, maybe that's where I will find help. This is my last hope. So I somehow I just feel like he's hypnotizing. I don't know how, but like I don't believe it. Whatever that he does, I can see. And coming to the religious, I'm the
deep, like
ZCC ones, and my mother is also like umuhulu, like kukiriki, but it's not that fussy that me ola or like as a wana high because of as manaba high must follow her footsteps, and then she's also a spiritual person. So, and now what she did is because of where she comes from his side, the father of the grandfather, they are traditional. Like Eva was a traditional healer.
Okay.
And as we speak, like we still have those things at home, and then they're waiting for us. Like, and
like a calling.
Each and every one of us has got their own gift, them go like, at their own right time, So somehow I feel like
Hey, we need to talk about that one day. Gore batswadi ba rona ba thabetse
And then di tla go ba
dineo
neng,
tsa bona,
And
yaanong
di a
di
ba
wetse mo
neng.
baneng. We need one day.
One day we'll
Yeah.
talk about it. Yeah.
Somewhere, somehow, I feel hore o thabetse dilo tsa ko go bone, and then mola a di thabetseng, and I just find a way for ena hore a khone go berekisa the gift that she has. She decided hore o tlo ya ko kerekeng and use her gift ko kerekeng.
Okay.
And not hore ha itse hore ho iragala eng about the traditional the spiritual thing. She knows, and do it morena most of us, and somehow and I know I feel guilty of that. That's why like I believe in God and also in that thing, you know, like I used to joke about these things,
No joke either.
in a way more like when the person starts something, so like, oh, what's the king? Nah, I can never do. What's the not come papela, Joe?
Oh, okay.
And I was just doing it like often and not noticing who like really and like after a while that's when I realized who, like actually whatever that was talking about not worry, I was joking in it. And I find out like anything and then to find out really about my life and I find out like I'm both actually. I'm the church way and everybody so in the middle.
Summing it up as we should take advantage of people and an opportunist. Okay. Terry?
You know, for me, as we're talking about false prophets and whatever, I remember a story that stayed with me, still stayed with me. I was in a local taxi going home this one day, and as we were driving, this guy pointed at a house, and he's like, "Can you see that house over there?" And I was like, "Yes." And when I did the van, like somebody's moving out, and I'm like, "Yes." And he's like, "Yo, Pelabari, Mutukam Wakamole, the house got repossessed. She was giving her money, all of her salary, to the church, and now her house is repossessed." And I made a joke, and I was like, "I hope she drives to the pastor's house and go moves in with him, because he was irresponsible to let her do that and not have money for her own, you know, upkeep and pay her bond and whatever." And that stayed with me. And I see it playing out with the Bushiri people, like you're saying, they're willing to spend all of these thousands of rands to go to Malawi,
7.5,
risk their lives,
get touched by him.
you know what I'm saying, to risk their lives to go on this trip to Malawi and go contract coronavirus over there, you know. So it got me, the story that I'm telling you, and this thing, it makes me think of like, what is it in people? Like you were also saying, Hore, understand, make God a person so that you can have a relationship. What is it in us that makes us believe there's a shorter way to get there? That makes us believe there's a shorter way through another person.
Maybe hope.
Maybe hope, maybe not wanting to do work.
Yeah, not wanting to do work too definitely.
You know?
Yeah,
so I'm like, what is it in the masses? Because let's be honest, there are thousands of people who are sitting in that church.
Hundreds.
He's got hundreds and thousands of a congregation. Why? What is it that they're missing? What is it
what
that
are
they
we
are
missing?
What are we missing? What are we missing?
I highly doubt it.
Yeah, I highly doubt that we're missing anything. But why can't they see what we're seeing? For example, what is it that they're yearning for, that they want? I'm so interested, and maybe I'm dreaming here, but I'm so interested in having an intellectual conversation around that, and even maybe writing an intellectual thought piece around it, where they are looking for 1, 2, 3. They are running for this particular thing, and they're running from themselves and actually running in the wrong direction, and they happen to meet this opportunist that is taking advantage of them, and we need to be worried. You know, we need to be worried for them. You know, beyond them, they money.
They're missing something.
Yeah, they're missing something inside. Yeah. So for me, it's more than the jokes. After the jokes, let's look deeper into that and figure out what's going on, and maybe not that we find a solution for them, just figure it out for ourselves. It's a
So
learning
we
lesson.
can avoid that trap as well.
We
if it
can
is a trap.
avoid
Yeah.
that trap.
I don't think they will.
But
share
I think
what
what you know Terry's saying is that let's dig deep and figure it out. Even if they don't necessarily tell us ourselves, there are ways to get information out of people.
Yes.
And I'm not advocating torturing or anything, but
Yeah.
there are ways to get information out of people without
Yeah.
actually telling them I want information out of them. You know, you just now, I've known you for how long? I didn't know that you had both sides. You know, but the conversations we were having, the fact that you felt in a safe space, then lets people to talk about things that maybe they
Yeah.
wouldn't have talked about it
Yeah.
otherwise. But ladies, we've run out of time. Thank
Oh my
you so
gosh,
much. I
I
know.
wanna
it's
come
been so
back.
fun. No, I'll have you again. There'll be lots of topics. But thank you so much, ladies. I value your inputs and your opinions, your patience,
Yeah.
and the beauty of the night. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for
yeah,
appreciating.
No, not a
it.
problem.
Yeah, it's really been awesome.
I can't wait to see the final product.
Yeah.
Watch it.
And on that note, thank you so much for joining us again. Have a lovely and blessed evening, whether you're spiritual or religious. Take care of yourself.
Good night. Bye.